Volume recommendations for beginner lifters. Okay, after that initial period of around 3 to 6 months, the lifter should now have fairly decent technique on most lifts, and they should now have increased his effort level and the load on the exercises to a point where he can now experiment with seeing what failure looks like on one or two exercises per workout, especially isolation lifts, since compound lifts are a little bit more risky with technique breakdown. So isolation lifts like bicep curls or leg extensions instead of squats or deadlifts. Okay, looking at the graph now and comparing the newbie stage to the beginner stage, we can see that there's a slowdown in the rate of gains. But I wouldn't concern myself too much with this, and I would even say that the beginner stage is the period characterized by the biggest change in the visual appearance of the lifter. And this is because, for one, it lasts longer. It goes from 3 months to 1 year, or around 6 months to 2 years, which allows for more muscle to be built. But not only that, in the newbie stage, most of the gains were coming through increases in the body's efficiency at neural efficiency at the recurring pre-existing motor units, which are supposed to be faster than the actual creation of muscle tissue. And this is why I consider that increasing the effort and load while maintaining the number of repetitions and form should be the main concern for a newbie lifter. Yes, beginners should very much concern themselves with increasing the weight on the lifts. It's just that now these increases are a little bit smaller, or they are just a little bit slower. I wouldn't say that he's going to do it every workout, but I would say every week or every other week he should be able to increase the weight on his lifts. So considering an increase in effort level to an RP of around 7 or 9, and the occasional set to failure, I would say that the lifter can now increase their number of sets to around 9 or 10 per week, with anything more than that really just turning into marginal gains. And the 15 sets being the upper limit, where any more would put the lifter at an increased risk of injury, or it would just mean that the lifter is not training hard enough because he's able to tolerate such high volume. On the other hand, if the lifter really pushes hard on his sets, I think that he can still make gains with around 1 to 3 sets per week. But the idea here is to understand the concept that you won't be making gains as fast as when he was a newbie, especially since for the beginner, strength and the muscle size are directly correlated.